Hey photographer, Jessica Whitaker here, and I am going to be doing a photography Q&A. So let's kick it off with question number one. What is the culling program that you use? I've been sharing over on Instagram a lot about this amazing free tool called Narrative Select. And this is a photo culling software. It's accurate, it's fast, and it is so easy to use. And it's totally free, not just free trial, but like properly free. So if you are interested, I will have Narrative Select linked down below. They are kindly sponsoring this video. And if you want to get it for free, you do have to use the link to sign up. So with that being said, I'm able to import thousands of really large raw files into Select in seconds. So I'll pop up on the screen one of my favorite recordings where I have 45, 50 megabyte files, 3,000 images that I can instantly import in under 10 seconds. And then once they're in there, you don't have any wait time as you toggle between the images. This is where the smart tech comes in. So within Narrative Select, they have a ton of image assessment tools. It lets you know if something's slightly out of focus, if eyes are closed, or if they're blinking. And actually the program will know if eyes are meant to be closed or looking down, but this is especially helpful for group photos. You're able to also just select the images that have no flags that appear, so perfect focus, eyes aren't blinking. You can filter for those and then cull from there. So that's how I use the program. And then once you've made your selections, all you have to do is ship it over into Lightroom, whether that's CC or Classic. You can choose to create a new catalog within Select or do a pre-existing one. It's so amazing and it will cut your workflow down so drastically. So if you're interested in giving it a go, you're going to fall in love with it. You can use Narrative Select totally free, but you have to use my link to sign up. So I'll have it on the screen here as well as in the description box below. The next question is, how do I set up a business bank account? So with this question, you're going to need to make sure that your business is actually a registered legal entity. It's going to depend if you get an LLC versus an S Corp, C Corp. All of these things are going to factor on you as the individual, and you're going to need to do your own research for that. But once you get something called an EIN, it's kind of like your business's version of an SSN, a social security number. It's this unique number just for your business. Then you can open up a business bank account with that number. Now, if you are a photographer and you are not a registered business entity, you do not have a business bank account, you don't have an accountant, you're not really tracking the money that's going in and out of your business, also known as bookkeeping. You need to learn about business insurance and retirement funds. I know that's kind of a topic that a lot of us feel like we can deal with when we're 65. If you are somebody who you've had these things on your to-do list for months, maybe a year or so, it keeps getting pushed to the bottom because I get it, it's really overwhelming, and whenever we go to research it online, it's presented to us in a really overly complicated way, then I want to invite you to my Business Basics online class. This is where I'm teaching you the 8 essential steps to getting your business legal and legit. If you're interested, just head to jessicawhitaker.co/businessbasics on the screen, also down below. Like in my YouTube videos, I teach from a very practical and simple perspective because I want you to not only learn this information and get it done, but I want you to feel empowered in it. I've helped hundreds of creative small business owners take control over their business and get legit through Business Basics class. So if you're interested, it's linked down below, and I can't wait to see you on the inside. Okay, so my fourth question is, why won't I upgrade my Mark IV? So I've had my 5D Mark IV, which is a full frame camera from Canon since 2016, and I've made a couple of videos talking about this, but I recently looked into purchasing the R5 and a couple of RF lenses. So I was looking into the combination of the R5 plus an RF35, RF50, and RF85 millimeter. The price tag came out to $10,000. I don't have $10,000 to spend on getting new equipment, especially because my Mark IV still works perfectly fine. I do think it would be one thing if my gear was a couple tiers below the Mark IV, then it's a whole different discussion. I love to borrow the R5 and shoot with it. I mean, It does make the editing a lot faster because the focus is so much more accurate, and it's just a really fun experience. But for that price tag, it's just not doable. And I was saying earlier in the year, like, okay, maybe I'll set a goal to upgrade, and maybe I will, but once I had that actual number in front of me, like I hadn't really looked into it, I just don't want to make that a priority for myself. Instead, I think what I will do is I would like to get an 85 1.2, maybe get a 24 to 70. And because I'm always teaching from a very practical perspective, and I really try to always get my point across about being a conscious consumer and just using financial wisdom, I thought it was really important to include this question for one of the last times in this video, because I had looked into the actual price tag with tax and everything, and $10,000 isn't feasible for me. Who knows, things could change, but I kind of doubt it. My next question is, am I still moving to New York City? So I lived in New York City in 2014 to 2015, that school year, for a year. I went to a design school there. And then I moved back in 2017 until August 2019. And I was really trying to decide if I wanted to stay in the city. I'd looked at other apartments, or if I wanted to move back to my hometown of Seattle, Washington, which is where I currently live. And I'm so thankful to God that I ended up moving back to Seattle. I had a great couple of months of traveling. That was kind of my objective. Is that the word for it? Where, okay, if I come to Seattle, then I'm going to travel. And I did. And then the pandemic happened. And I thank God that I did decide to move to Seattle versus staying in New York over the pandemic. And I always, like every few weeks, I flip-flop between going back to New York City, living there again. You know, I love New York, but in the recent months, I've been back to New York a couple of times to photograph my clients. I'm coming back actually in July if you're interested in booking a session with me. And the last time I was there, which was in May, I really was on the side of not moving back. I loved being able to go and visit and have fun without having the day-to-day grind that New York comes with. I would love to experience a different city. I would love to live in London or live in San Francisco or just live somewhere else, maybe even Orange County. I would just like to do something else before I move back to New York City. My next question is all about what do you do if your clients don't like their images? I have a whole video, of course. I have lots and lots and lots of free photography tutorials here on YouTube, and they're made possible by my sponsors, such as Narrative Select. I've done a whole dedicated video on how to navigate this difficult client situation where they're unhappy. There's two main things to do. Number one is getting into the proper mindset. So photography is a very personal kind of realm to be in because we are creating art, but we have to have the mindset shift to not be reacting out of emotion, because the other party is in the right to react out of emotion. And if they receive their images back, they're going to naturally be reacting out of emotion. You as the photographer cannot be taking it personally, because when we take it personally, then we are going to react out of emotion, and we're either going to have our feelings really hurt, which is natural to be like bummed out they don't like their images, but if you kind of create this mindset, you're going to be able to have a clearer headspace to then, this is the second part of it, get on the phone with them. On the phone, you're able to really articulate through your tone that you are on their side, that you want to make it right, and that it's not that you're accepting blame for making the images bad, because chances are it's like one thing that they're unhappy with that you're able to walk them through. And because you're on the phone, it also shows them that you care enough about them to take the time to walk them through this process. And of course you do, but that's where you're able to really show it and demonstrate it in your business. The last question is, how do I get out of a creative rut? The best way for you to get out of a creative rut is to donate your time and your talent. It's to serve your local community. Let's say, for instance, you are in high school and there is a girl in your school who is about to have a baby. Extend the kindness by offering to take her maternity photos. Obviously, you want to do this for free. Donating your time and your talent to somebody who's struggling through a really difficult time in their life, something that should be exciting, but it's really scary, especially given their age and who knows their living situation. But you offering to take her maternity photos allows her to have this special moment and this should be exciting period in her life. When you donate your time out of a place of generosity, that is what's going to fill up your cup. Your cup can only be filled so much by Pinterest and inspirational mood boards and by going out and doing styled shoots. But the way where you can continue to operate from a place of giving and gratitude and generosity is by donating your time and your talent. So my best way to get out of a creative rut and to get re-inspired is to go out there and use your talents to serve others. If you're looking to join a kind, encouraging, and inclusive photography community, come on over to my Build and Bloom Facebook group. This is the best place to ask questions to myself and to the community, whether it's about a specific client situation you need help drafting a response to, or if you want personalized feedback on your work or your website. And if you are a photographer who has not made their business legit and legal yet, I encourage you to check out my Business Basics class. This is where I'm going to be teaching you the 8 essential steps to getting your business legal and legit in a way that is clear and easy to understand. I'm not only sharing with you what to do, but also the flow and how to do it so that you have accountability and that you take action. I believe in you and I believe in your business, and I'll see you over in Business Basics. Bye.